mean, not a clever idea. Jděte pro ně, ano.
Máme bídnější.
Jste tady správně, holky.
To je jak v přístavce. Takový jídlosty, jo.
Že bych měla být i na ty autobusy.
Já úplně krásně jsem
Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the Falkirk Wheel. My name is Lucy. I'm one of the photographers here today. All I do is we come onto every boat, we take everybody's photograph, and then we use them to write
si zaplatím, může zůstat sedět a se ti skočit.
To je fakt zkušenost. To je fakt
Jak je to hluboko?
So where is the gymnasium Písnická from? Prague. Ah, excellent. Okay, I should have said Dobrý deň. Dobrý deň? Dobrý deň. Well, as you can gather, trochę po polsku rozmawiam trochę similarnie. Otherwise, przepraszam, że muszę trochę po polsku rozmawiać, może trochę rozumiecie, ale większość rozmowy będzie po angielsku. Czy większość mniej więcej rozumie po angielsku? Bo mamy komputer, będzie grać po angielsku. Ja tylko informuję wam, że ja jestem wasz kapitan Edward Mędrzykowski ze Szkocji. Z polskiego pochodzenia. Witam. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. We just welcome our special guest from the gymnasium in Prague, Gymnasium Písnická, Gymnasium Písnická from Prague. And welcome to Highland Heritage at the back. And welcome to myself from Bonnie Grangemouth down the road here at the Falkirk Wheel, and to my colleague Ian, and welcome to the Falkirk Wheel, the world's one and only rotating boat lift and possibly 8th wonder of the world, certainly in engineering terms. And to help you arrive at a decision during the course of your journey, we will play in 3 parts an audio-visual presentation which will give you all the facts and figures you require. Now, I'll put on the safety announcement very shortly, but introduce you that and let you know that there are 6 emergency exits on this vessel. 4 main ones are in the middle, across, and the 2 back corners. To the rear and behind me are secondary exits. You must, with this exit, remain inside. If taking photographs, only put your hand out and do as I'm doing. You must remain inside with your person at all times, as these are maritime regulations. You put your head out, you'll bump it on the metal light just on the other side and obscure the navigation camera. If something happened unlikely, follow the instructions from myself and Ian at all times in a calm, safe, orderly fashion. And really, folks, at the end of the day, and I'm sure you'll all understand, always and remember and get off the same side of the boat we have tied up against. That'll be the dry side. The wet side's 1.5 metres deep, and so's the bottom of the boat, which means if the boat were to sink, please remain seated and lift your feet. So sit back, relax, enjoy, and I'll speak to you on the way down when the view disappears. Thank you very much. Bye-bye the now. Dziękuję.
Ladies and gentlemen, may I have your attention, please? Welcome aboard this British Waterways trip boat at the Falkirk Wheel. For visitors using the audio tour handsets to obtain commentary in languages other than English, or using the induction loop facility, the soundtrack will be delivered automatically to the handset when a video is showing. When there is a soundtrack to listen to, the handset symbol will be displayed, and you can simply put the handset to your ear to receive the commentary. We are required to give a short safety announcement. In the unlikely event of an emergency situation arising, please follow the directions of the crew. The boat will be brought alongside and may be evacuated through emergency exits. The locations of the doors are shown here. For your own safety and comfort, passengers are requested not to lean out of the windows or open the doors. Once the boat is underway, it is possible to stand in the cabin to take photographs. Thank you for your attention, and please enjoy the journey. Ladies and gentlemen, girls and boys, you are about to experience the unique marvel of the Falkirk Wheel. We are sure that you will enjoy this boat trip on the Falkirk Wheel, the world's first and only rotating boat lift, which continues the finest traditions of centuries-old Scottish engineering excellence and innovation. Opened by Her Majesty the Queen in 2002 as part of the Millennium Link project, the Falkirk Wheel was designed to reconnect the Forth and Clyde Canal with the Union Canal and reopen the waterway principally for recreational use. It replaces a series of 11 locks close to this site, which linked the two canals until the 1930s, when the lock system fell into disuse. The height difference between the Forth and Clyde Canal at the bottom and the Union Canal at the top is 35 metres. The Falkirk Wheel was designed by Scottish architects RMJM and constructed by Butterley Engineering of Derbyshire and cost £17.5 million to build, with funding coming from many partners. The entire Millennium Link project cost £87 million. The Falkirk Wheel structure has an overall height of 35 metres and consists of two opposing arms which take the shape of a Celtic-inspired double-headed axe, and it will take just 4 minutes to travel to the top. The boat moves into a gondola which holds boats side by side. There are two gondolas in the Falkirk Wheel, which always weigh the same, whether or not they carry their combined capacity of 600 tonnes, as the water contained within the gondolas is displaced to compensate. The Falkirk Wheel is under the operation of the main control room at the basin, and safety procedures are closely monitored to ensure that the wheel cannot turn until all the steps required have taken place. To make the Falkirk Wheel ready to turn, two hydraulic steel gates are raised to seal off the gondola from the water in the canal basin. The water between the gates is then pumped out, and a watertight seal which connects the gondola and the canal basin is removed. A hydraulic clamp and a series of securing pins which prevent the arms of the wheel from moving while the gondola is docked are now removed, allowing the Falkirk Wheel to turn. In the central machine room, an array of 10 hydraulic motors begins to rotate a central axle, which is carried on bearings at both ends. The axle connects to the outer arms of the Falkirk Wheel, and this now begins to rotate slowly at a speed of 1/8 of a revolution per minute. It takes around 4 minutes for the gondola to reach the top of the aqueduct, 25 metres above. The Falkirk Wheel can turn in a clockwise or anti-clockwise direction, and the choice over which way it turns is made by an operator in the control room. To reduce wear on bearings and other moving parts, the operator will evenly distribute the number of times the wheel turns in each direction. As the wheel rotates, the two gondolas are always kept in the upright position by a simple system of gears. Two 8-metre wide outer rings orbit a fixed inner cog of the same width. Two smaller cogs connect the inner and outer rings together. These travel in the opposite direction to the outer rings, and this ensures that the two gondolas remain level. Without this system, the inertia created by over 80,000 gallons of water would tip each gondola over. According to Archimedes' principle, floating objects displace their own weight in water. So when a boat enters the gondola, the weight of water displaced will equal the weight of the boat. This means that one gondola holding one or more boats will always weigh the same as an empty gondola, providing that the water levels are the same. Maintaining an equal water level in each gondola is critical to the operation of the wheel. A system of electronic sensors constantly monitors the water levels up and down the Falkirk Wheel site. Balance and equilibrium are the two principles behind the Falkirk Wheel's remarkable energy efficiency. It uses only 1.5 kilowatt-hours of energy to complete one half-turn, the equivalent of boiling 8 electric kettles. Unlike a conventional log gate, the Falkirk Wheel makes very economical use of water. Because water has to travel both up and down with the gondola, the canal water is never wasted. When the gondola reaches the top of the aqueduct, a hydraulic clamp locks onto the gondola to hold it in place, while the space between the gates is filled with water. Once the water levels have equalized, the gates are then lowered to allow the boat to pass through. The boat is now at the highest point of the Falkirk Wheel on the aqueduct and will travel through the pinch point, a gauging point on the canal which ensures that boats are of a size which will fit along the Union Canal at its narrowest points. You can see in front of you the Roughcastle Tunnel. This tunnel was constructed as part of the junction between the Forth and Clyde Canal at the lower level to the Union Canal at the upper, therefore completing the Millennium Link. Above the tunnel are the remains of the Roman Antonine Wall, begun around AD 142 to protect the Roman invaders from the Picts. The Antonine Wall was 60 kilometres long, stretching from Bo'ness on the Forth to Old Kilpatrick on the Clyde, and was constructed of turf built up on a rubble stone base. The best preserved fort along the wall is known as Roughcastle, and is so close to where we are now that its name has been used for the tunnel. The Forth and Clyde Canal, which runs from Grangemouth on the Forth to Bowling on the Clyde, was started in 1768, but was not completed until 1790 due to lack of funds. The Union Canal was opened in 1822, and the two linked by a flight of 11 locks. The Falkirk Wheel now provides the link between the two canals. The men of the workforce who dug out the canals were called navigators, and in time the name became shortened to navvies. They came here to work mainly from Ireland or the Scottish Highlands. Over 1,500 navvies worked on the building of the Forth and Clyde Canal. The canals were designed to provide fast routes for transporting goods from one side of Scotland to the other. And from the beginning, rivalry was fierce between companies, all keen to provide the quickest journey between Glasgow and Edinburgh. Originally, the boats using the canals would have been horses, but these were replaced by steam boats. The Romans first practiced soon
Přisedám prst. Tourism, and deliver a wide range of social, economic and environmental improvements to the people of Scotland. It is imperative that our waterways are made to work hard for the communities through which they run. British Waterways intend to work closely with all our partners to focus the efforts of the committed team here in Scotland on both meeting the needs of our current users and identifying additional opportunities on and off the water. Opportunities that will maximise the potential of our network for the long-term future.
Ve Starbucksu bych.
Zásuvky, jo? Nejenom, že za to překladku vás to může se
Mě to vrází, že to je dobrý, ne? Kira takhle jezdil v Holandsku v těch kanálech a říkal, že to byla pěkná dovolená.
Právníci chodili do nějaký
Člověk se musí spát, je zkoušet z počasí.
Tak vezme možná. Půjdeme na tohle.
To mělo 730 fotů.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, descending nicely now, 1,800 tons, getting rotated a height of 25 metres in 4.5 minutes using only 18 kilowatts of power, all because we're Scottish. Trying to say everyone else is a bit. It was the Scottish, or Scots that remember that old principle from over 3,500 years ago, from that naked Greek gentleman who long ago jumped out of his bath, ran down the street and shouted in ancient Greek the words, Eureka. Archimedes was his name, and Archimedes is the name of the vessel you'll travel on. And because of that, we found that any combination of people, boats and water on both gondolas either side of the wheel, it will always be in perfect balance. And when something's in balance, it doesn't take much power to turn. That's our sister vessel Antonine just coming up with a similar amount, but we had higher boats in with us. The previous red vessel that passed had no other boat in the other gondola, yet we were in perfect balance. Is the Highland Heritage people all from the same area, or a mixture? Sometimes on the bus groups have things, there's no point in catching on that you're from Norfolk and I've been there, or Cornwall and I've been in that town. Okay then, the floor is open to any questions. Has anybody any question that they would like to ask? Remember, this is a school day, so I could be asking homework questions. I have a question for some of you then. You think of how many people are paid to travel on this boat. How much would a private vessel pay to travel on the wheel? Anybody like to hazard a guess? Or? Sorry? Somebody say it was free. Who do you think we are? Scottish? Do you have an advance on free? £10. Excellent, thank you very much. Standard bidding, £10, £10, £10. Do you have an advance of £10? An advance, going. Oh dearie me, that's the worst of it. Well, £10 it is then, never mind. Unfortunately, sir, if you gave me £10, I'd have to give you back in change £10. Yes, indeed, because we're Scottish, we don't charge you a penny to take your boat off the wheel. It may cost you £100 to get back down again though. All bought and paid for by the Lottery Millennium Project. We are a Lottery Millennium funded project, so there's no major cost to the company. And in a way, the boat has already paid. You pay a licence fee to have the boat in the water. And a licence fee, just like your car tax does you a bridge toll, then the cost of license fee does you anywhere on British waterways. And as we replace locks, where there was no charge for anyway, we're carrying on that tradition. In fact, the only people that pay are yourselves. It was never intended to be a tourist attraction. It was just a working boat lift, a practical way. But if you think about it, and you soon realise that the way it looked, what it did, the way it did it, it was soon become a tourist attraction and quickly take care of it. So basically you just pay your way, and somebody has to pay me to talk to you, or drive the boat, and basically any money that you started turning. Now the problem is that you know that she doesn't know, that she thinks that she didn't pay it hard enough, but really you know that she doesn't know that all she was expecting was a £4.99 doorbell from B&Q. You don't tell her, you don't either. Well, ladies and gentlemen, as the gate's down, we just have to go forward very shortly. So on behalf of myself and Ian and British Waterways, thank you for travelling 200 feet above sea level, and you're cruising at a speed of 4 miles per hour. As there was no trolley dolly service, the cafeteria is open in the departure lounge for refreshments, and the excellent non-tax free shop on the left has lots of mementos like the visitor guidebook. If you're out here again, come and join us if you're not in the group.
My jsme to zakazovali na Google.
Tamhle to je lejt půdí nebo